All right, we are live. Welcome to the oTTomator AI Agent Hackathon finale, and I've even got some other fun stuff to talk about after as well. So I'm gonna have this be a pretty casual stream. We're just gonna have fun with this, going over the winners for the hackathon, which is super exciting, and then something else that I already have published on GitHub. That you could, if you've been following my GitHub, you might have already seen it, but I want to talk about that a little bit at the end as well because it's pretty exciting. So yeah, also I am trying something new with my live streaming. Because on the right hand side, or right here, pointing right here, you can see the chat for the live stream. I have not done this before, but I know that all the good streamers, they do that. And so I wanted to try that out. I'm using a platform called Social Stream Ninja. It's completely free and open source. It's super cool. And I can even highlight specific messages as well, which I want to do. Like I can highlight this one from Simon. Hey Simon, welcome. And I could do another one like this right here. Cool, cool. All right, yeah, this is working great. So then I can unselect them. All right, yeah. So my last live streams, I didn't do this before. And so whenever I was communicating with you all in the chat, I couldn't actually display the message that I was talking about or the question I was answering, whatever. So hopefully that'll make this a lot more fun. So yeah, the agenda for today is going over the winners for the hackathon, and honorable mentions as well. So essentially, everyone that's up there on the platform, I want to, just showcase you very quickly because I appreciate all of the submissions in the hackathon. So we'll go through that, go through the winners, and then we'll talk about a project that I've started for my channel and on GitHub as well. And so the first thing that I want to say before we dive into the leaderboard for the hackathon is that I seriously appreciate every single one of your submissions for the hackathon. Like every single AI agent that you guys made was really impressive. And I'm super happy with how the whole hackathon turned out and what you guys created. And so even if your agent didn't win, even if it's on the honorable mention page, it doesn't mean that you didn't make an incredible agent. I want to really emphasize that because all of you guys did a really great job. And honestly, I want to do another hackathon in the future. Probably not super soon. I mean, these aren't the kind of events that I have the bandwidth to host every month or anything like that because it took a lot of work to put this on. With working with all the guest judges and talking to all of you as you guys are putting in your submissions, getting all of your agents on the live agent studio. I mean, even though you guys did a good job, like it's still difficult to get all of your individual agents configured and put up. So a lot of work that went into this, but yeah, like I said, really happy with how it turned out. And so yeah, what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to switch my scene here so that we can go over to the live agent studio. So hopefully this transition is pretty smooth for all of you. I can't see the chat in my streaming software like I usually can though, so I'm gonna try to get that quick. Let's see if this worked. Hold on one second. All this streaming stuff. This is my third stream that I've ever done, so I'm still kind of getting through the ropes of all this. So I'm trying to get my stream chat to show up in my recording software, which I use OBS by the way, which is also totally free. So like everything that I do for all my recording is completely free because I record with OBS. I'm using this new social streaming ninja thing. And then also with my editing, I use a platform called CapCut, which has a free tier that can pretty much do everything. So yeah, it's pretty much all free. Oh man, I didn't get my chat. Okay, so I opened up something else and it didn't have the chat. Oh well, that's fine. All right, we'll just continue on. So anyway, here we are on the oTTomator page for the hackathon prizes because I want to talk about the prizes a little bit and then we'll get into the leaderboard because I want to remind everyone how exactly this works before I just start picking the winners for everything based off the community voting leaderboard that we have. So yeah, $6,000 prize pool. All of you guys are probably pretty well aware of this number right here. Super exciting. First place gets $1,500. This is the best agent overall based on the community voting. And then second place gets $1,000. Third place, $500. And then all of the runner-ups will get $150 each. So this is 4th through 10th place. But then we also have these special category prizes. So $700 for the best voice flow agent. and then 300 for the second best voice flow agent. And then we're doing the exact same thing for N8N, except the N8N agents are actually kind of special. And we get to watch a really cool clip in a second here, because the winners are picked by Max. So he's an employee of N8N. He has his own YouTube channel. Well, it's the N8N channel, but he does all the content for it. So you've probably seen his face before. He's a big face for N8N. And he actually picked the winners, the best and second best N8N agents, which is super cool. And he even recorded a clip for me to share with you going over his choices. So we'll watch that in a little bit as well, which is super exciting. And then the other thing that is given out by N8N, all winners are going to get a free 1-year N8N Pro Cloud account, which is really cool. Because you can self-host N8N for free, but you still have to pay for the cloud server to host it. And so it's not entirely free, even though self-hosted N8N itself is. And so having a free N8N Pro Cloud account, it's a tongue twister for some reason, that's pretty cool. And they have some more robust features on their cloud version that you don't get in self-hosted, doing things with like environment variables and stuff to actually make your agents production ready, which is pretty neat. And then the top 3 winners are going to get an N8N swag box as well, which is super cool. Yeah, and then the other thing is that the note that I wanted to add here is that you're going to get the single highest prize you qualify for. And basically, I just have this example here to show what it means. Like if you get the best agent overall, like you get the first place prize, but then you also built the best voice flow agent, you're not going to get both of the prizes. That wouldn't be fair. You'll get the one that's the highest, and then the runner-up would then get your lower award that you won. So like the second best voice flow agent would actually get best voice flow agent, because the best voice flow agent got first overall. So I hope that makes sense. And looking at the leaderboard before I started this live stream, I know that that rule is going to apply, because we did have some winners that built their agents with one of these 2 platforms here. I won't say which one right away. So yeah, that's a refresher on the prizes. Now we can do the big reveal. I've been waiting for this all week. Super excited for showing you guys the agents that won this competition. Again, all of you did a fantastic job, but it's cool to see the community come in and vote on these, and we have our winners here. So what I'm going to do here is go out of my full screen here. Actually, before I do this, Grandpa K asked, is the audio lagging on your side too? So yeah, guys, let me know in the chat if that's everyone as well. I don't really know how I would resolve that if the audio is lagging, because all the settings in my live stream is exactly the same. But yeah, just let me know. Okay, thanks Christopher for letting me know that it's not you. So yeah, sorry Grandpa K, it might just be you. But anyway, I want to get on to the winners here. So let's go over to the leaderboard here. Actually, before we even do that, let me play the video from Max, because this will kind of set the stage for all of the winners, including the N8N ones as well. So I'm going to full screen this here. So Max recorded this just for the hackathon here because he judged the N8N agent. So we'll play this, then we'll get into the leaderboard and show everything all at once. So sorry, I'm bouncing around a little bit here, but I'm just kind of off the walls excited for this. So a little all over the place this morning, but that's totally good. So yeah, anyway, let me mute my microphone, and then I will play my desktop audio, play this video from Max, and then yeah, let me know in the chat if you can't hear it at all. So yeah, let me go ahead and do that.
Hey Cole, thanks so much from everyone at Team N8N for putting on this awesome hackathon. There were some really cool submissions across the board for the N8N AI agents that you sent over for me to judge. And hey everyone, if you don't know me, I'm Max, the original Flowgrammer. I joined N8N as their founding designer, and now my job is to evangelize the product on the road. So Cole, you didn't make my job easy. It was a pretty tough competition, but I was able to give feedback to all the different participants. And across the board, there were some really high quality submissions. My one feedback across the board for everyone, guys, is consider what happens when your agentic steps go wrong. They're probabilistic by nature, they can fail, and a good production use case is going to keep that into account. With all that in mind, let's have a look at my top 2 picks and why I chose them. All right, in second place, we have the indoor smart farming agent. So this use case is really cool because it's got a few non-trivial moving parts. We've got a vector store involved, we've got the ingest flow for that vector store, and we've even got some charting capabilities, which I think is really cool. And this is one of these use cases where I could absolutely definitely see some real industry value for this, especially as automation is now becoming more and more common in the agriculture industry. And I expect that trend's only going to continue with AI. Some good examples of prompting in the descriptions, some details in there, and well-defined examples throughout the board, and generally just a really cool use case. I think 2025 is all about showing what's possible with the tools. 2024 was about validating that they work. Now let's go take that to the next level and do some really valuable stuff with it. And I think this one definitely speaks to that. My favorite workflow across the board is definitely this course guider. Now, again, guys, it wasn't easy. I think there was a lot of great ideas. I was judging based on the idea and the execution of the idea as well. And I would say this course guider did a nice job between annotating what it's doing it well, and doing something that's generally useful. Really cool thing about this use case is how it's breaking apart the task to be done. As an educator myself, I love anything that helps folks educate faster and better. And I see a lot of AI helping folks to create sort of custom curricula and whatnot that they probably couldn't afford if they had to use a human to do that for them. And I particularly like this serial agentic approach here. That is, they're breaking it down step by step. The documentation is nice as well to understand what it's doing. And when you look into the system prompts itself, there's some nice best practice there as well in terms of defining the role, the goal, how to do things, the expected output, etc., etc. So I think really great job there. And I can highly recommend to anyone when you're building a non-trivial AI agent or a non-trivial solution, think of the human steps to complete that task and try to model your solution like that. Now, again, it goes without saying, it was a really tough job to pick, and I think across the board, folks did a really good job. I provided detailed feedback to every single submission. I hope it helps. And it is a contest, guys, so I had to pick, but the fact that you spent some time to build an agentic workflow and submit it to the community to judge, for that, you're all winners in my book. Back to you, Cole.
All right, there we go. I think Max just did such a good job with this video. I appreciate it a ton. And he emphasized a lot of what I wanted to say to all of you as well. Like I said at the start of the stream here, like all of you did a fantastic job. But yeah, specifically the course guider and indoor farming agents built with N8N. Those are, yeah, I think they do deserve the best and second best N8N agents. Which, by the way, doesn't necessarily mean they get those awards, because I'll just kind of spoil it right now. One of these agents got a higher award. So that kind of plays into the ruling that I have here on the prizes. But yeah, those are max picks. Super phenomenal job. So now here we are in the leaderboard. I'm actually going to do a full refresh just to make sure this is completely up to date. I have taken down the ability for you all to vote now. So if you go over to the Live Agent Studio, you can no longer vote on your agents. It won't work because we have locked down the voting here. So StreamBuzz Agent is the first place prize here. So congratulations, Mohammed. You have built the agent that the community has voted to be the best one for the oTTomator Hackathon. So absolutely incredible job. And then Aditya with the indoor farming agent was the best N8N agent, but also the second best agent overall. So congratulations. You are the second best. Phenomenal job with this agent as well. And then third place is the intelligent invoicing agent, also built in N8N. It wasn't one of Mac's picks, but I assume it was pretty high up there as well, because the community certainly loved it. A super practical use case. So nice job, Tino. And then what I'm going to do here, so I'm going to go through all of the winners here. I'm just kind of focusing on the top three right here. But I built this little winners panel for me, just in my kind of admin view of the Live Agent Studio, because I want to actually like lay out very clearly the winners and the prize amounts that they get, and then also the category winners as well, and then all of the 4th through 10th place runner-ups as well. And so, yeah, first of all, again, big congrats to Mohammed, Aditya, and Tino for 1st through 3rd place. And so I'm going to go ahead and drag these in right here. And actually, yeah, no, this is right. Yep. So, okay. So Mohammed, $1,500. Amazing. 1,000 to Aditya, 500 to Tino. And now we go on to the category winners. So again, Max, he picked the course guider agent for the best N8N agent. And then for the second best N8N agent, it wouldn't actually go to indoor farming agent because Aditya got $1,000. He got a higher prize because he was voted as the second best agent overall. And guys, I'm so sorry. I forgot to ask Max to give me his 3rd and 4th picks in case this happened. So I don't actually have a 2nd place right here yet. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put in the third highest voted N8N agent, and then I might have to adjust it after the hackathon based on whatever Max gets back to me with, or maybe he'd just be good with me kind of deciding it this way. Because I asked him and I just didn't hear from him since it's the weekend. So yeah, that's the only little like glitch here in the whole ranking. But the second best N8N agent would actually go to the YouTube Educator Plus. So David, nice job. You got the second best N8N agent. So there we go with N8N. And then for the voice flow category, the best agent built with voice flow is actually fourth place right here. So the travel agent, which by the way, someone in the chat, let me see if I can find this here. Someone specifically called out the travel agent and said it was absolutely awesome. Let me see if I can. Yeah, David. Yeah, David said whoever made the travel agent, that thing is fire. Voted for you. And yes, yeah, the travel agent was absolutely phenomenal. So best voice flow agent overall, and then the second best voice flow agent is Gilbert. So I actually have to go down quite a bit here because all these other agents are built with either Python or N8N. So Gilbert is the second best agent built by VoiceFlow, which this one is absolutely awesome as well. So nice job, Ivan, for building Gilbert. He uses the Zillow API and everything, which is super cool. And again, I'll kind of showcase all these agents a little bit after we go through the leaderboard as well. But yeah, I just want to call that out super quick. And then for our honorable mentions here, we'll just kind of go down the list. So all of these got 4th through 10th place and are still going to get $150 each. So still awesome agents overall. So for 4th place, we have the Ask Reddit agent. Then we have the MCP agent by Third Brain for 5th place. Tiny DM for 6th. The Web Page Scraper for 7th. Auto Markdown for 8th. And then the General Research Agent for 9th, and then the YouTube Summary Agent for 10th place. So that is everything that we've got. We have all of our places here. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this and save it just so that I have a record of exactly who I dragged into all these different places. The leaderboard kind of says it, but it's just a lot more clear like for the specific categories and stuff, which is why I made this little widget here on the right side. So yeah, I will be reaching out to all of these winners individually over the next couple of weeks. Just give me and the oTTomator team like the month of February to make sure that we get everything communicated with you guys and get the prize money over. But we'll be working with all of you individually just to make sure that we can get you the prizes that you deserve, because you guys definitely deserved it with all these agents that you made. And like I said, even the ones that didn't win that are here lower in the list or in the honorable mentions page that I'll show in a little bit, you guys still did a phenomenal job. All these agents are so cool. And a lot of these, like, let me just call out one in particular really quick. The MCP agent built by Third Brain. This one, I'm guessing it got 5th place instead of higher, probably just because the examples and the way that you could work with it in the live Agent Studio was a little bare bones. But you could connect any MCP server into this agent and do some absolutely crazy things. So like even like this agent right here is like so impressive. And like honestly, might have been one of my higher picks. I'm not going to play favorites here. I mean, it's community voting for a reason, but yeah, such amazing agents. So congratulations to all of you guys. Absolutely phenomenal job. And I'm going to go over to the chat and kind of like showcase some of your guys' comments here in a second. But before I do that quick, I just want to go over to the honorable mentions here, just because I want to highlight these agents as well that didn't make it onto the community voting period, but were still really good agents. And so I just want to call this out really quick, and then I'll go over to the other view with my chat, and I'll kind of just chat with you guys a little bit before I go on to the next thing here. So yeah, for honorable mentions, we have an electrician booking platform. So this is literally like not just like a single calendar for people to book on, but electricians can go and actually register their business calendar, like with Calendly or Google Calendar, and get a booking link and like a chat bot that can work with it, which is super cool. And then the CoinCashU agent. CoinCashU, they basically, I think it's a crypto. There's so many agents, so I don't remember exactly. Luckily, we see some Bitcoin here, so I think that kind of gives it away. And so basically it was this agent that ingested all of the documentation for CoinCashU, just like I did with Pydantic AI on my YouTube channel. and he used an actually very similar setup to me. Um, so you could ask questions about the coin cashew documentation, which is pretty cool. And then we have Daisy, which is a fitness agent built with VoiceFlow. Super cool. And then Auto Profit, which is kind of like this financial advisor agent built with VoiceFlow. And then Agent Double O Steven, which is kind of like a project manager agent. I thought was a really neat idea. Also, a really cool name as well. And then Fix and Learn. This agent is a coder agent that helps you fix your code, but even more than that, it helps you learn why it made the changes that it did to fix your code, which is, I think, something big that we're missing right now with AI coding assistants like Cursor or Windsurf. They can explain to you the changes that they made if you ask, but they don't ask by default. So a lot of people get super lazy and they just have AI code everything without actually understanding what it's doing, what it's tweaking, if it's fixing any of your code, why it's actually doing that. So I think this agent is super cool as well. And then a fashion e-commerce AI assistant. This is built in VoiceFlow. You could like give it an image of yourself and it would recommend fashion ideas for you, like clothing ideas based on what it actually sees, like when you give an image of yourself, which is pretty cool. Then we have the electronic agent, which is a N8N workflow that basically allowed you to book on an electrician's Google Calendar, which, yeah, pretty neat. I mean, that's a super practical use case. And then the last one that we have is based on your location. The sun and moon phase assistant would tell you like the current phase of the sun and the moon, which I thought was a really neat little use case as well. So all these agents are super cool, even though they didn't make it onto the community voting. There's still honorable mentions that are very impressive. So I wanted to call them out as well. So yeah, thank you all of you guys for all of the agents that you built. And so now what I want to do quickly before I go on to just like talk a little bit about all of our winners here is I'm just going to switch back over to this view right here. So hey everyone, and I'm going to highlight some messages here and just chat with you guys a little bit before I go on for the rest of the live stream here. So yeah, I'm gonna see how I can maybe do this the best. I've never done this before, so this is all very, very new. Let's see here. Oh yeah, this is the comment I was talking about earlier, where David said, "Whoever made the travel agent, that thing is fire," and I agree. And he even voted for you. So thank you, by the way. Like David, you are a competitor, also voting for other agents. I don't know how many of you guys actually did that, but I appreciate that a lot. That really does mean a lot. Um, oh yeah, and Digital Alchemist. I remember you put this comment out when we were watching Max's video. So you agree that the course guider and the indoor farming agent were your two favorite. And yeah, absolutely phenomenal agents. And yeah, congratulations, Mohammed, for making Stream Buzz, which I'll showcase that one first in a little bit here. Super cool agent. Congrats to you again. Let's see, what else we got here? Congrats to everyone who submitted. This is so cool that I can just click all your comments here and display them on the screen. I hope that's working really well. But yeah, I love Social Streaming Ninja. I'd highly recommend checking out for anyone who actually wants to do any live streaming here. Yeah, and Mohammed, the winner of the oTTomator AI Agent Hackathon. Congrats to everyone who built something awesome. The innovation in this hackathon was inspiring, and I very much agree. So thank you, Mohammed. Came into this community a few weeks ago. Seeing all the projects has me hyped. Same here. I'm very hyped myself. Although I didn't come into this community a few weeks ago. Yeah. Winning aside, the real win was seeing so many creative ideas come to life. Huge respect to all the teams. Yes, I agree. The Reddit agent was fire. Yeah, I'll showcase this one a little bit as well, because the Reddit agent did something special that not in a single other agent did. I'll show you what I mean in a little bit here. Super cool. Secured N8N first place. Nice job. Congratulations. And yes, you are very welcome. Big ups to everyone who entered. Yes. All right, Simon asked, well, first, congrats to all the winners. Just want to know the VoiceFlow special prize criteria. So yeah, good question. So for the N8N agents, Max picked the winners. But then for VoiceFlow in particular, it was just based on the community voting ranking. And so, yeah, it was like the top agent in the leaderboard that we just saw on the live Agent Studio, that was a voice flow agent. And then second best obviously went to the second highest voice flow agent on the leaderboard there. So that was the criteria for the voice flow special prize. Um, yeah, what else do we got here? Stephen, I love the images you are generating for these. Thank you very much. Actually, my wife helped me make them because I was grinding out getting all of your agents up on the live agent studio, which was a ton of work, like I said earlier, configuring everything with environment variables and getting it into my own N8N or VoiceFlow, whatever. And so she was helping me generate all of the images for these agents, and they all turned out super, super nice. And AI does so many weird things when it generates images, so she actually took every single one of them and brought them into a platform called Procreate, which is kind of like Photoshop, but for more artsy people like her, and she edited everything, like all like the stupid text that it put in there and all the images and stuff. So huge shout out to her as well. She helped me with so many different things for this hackathon as well. So yeah, big shout out to her. Images were really cool. Yeah, Nate, thank you for being here, man. Thanks for setting up the community, Cole. You are so welcome. Nate was one of the guest judges actually for this hackathon, as I announced in LinkedIn and the think tank and everywhere. So yeah, thank you, Nate, for being a part of this and for helping judge the N8N agents as well. I appreciate it a lot. Yeah, and I guess I should shout out the other guest judges as well. So we have Nate Herc here as one of the guest judges for N8N. And then we also have Zubair. He has his YouTube channel. So Nate has a YouTube channel. Zubair also does called AI Workshop. He helped judge the N8N agents as well. And then we had Nick Peru. He also has a YouTube channel. He helped judge the N8N agents as well. So we had 3 N8N guest judges. And then we had Matt Williams, who helped judge the Python agents. He also has a YouTube channel. You can just really just search any of their names and find them. They all helped a lot, just helping me form my opinions on all these agents as I was figuring out which ones I wanted to bring onto the live agent studio for the community voting period. So thank you so much to all the guest judges as well. I want to shout you guys out definitely too. So yeah, thank you, Nate. Thank you for the honorable mention. Didn't expect to be competitive, but I wanted to use this as a learning experience. You are very welcome. And yeah, every single agent, including yours, is very impressive. So thank you very much, Tyler. Let's see. I understand it's early to ask, can we expect one more hackathon? Yeah, so like I said, maybe like 10 minutes ago, I definitely do want to do another hackathon. And it's not the kind of thing that I could host every single month because there's so much that goes into it. But I would love to host more because this was a huge hoot for both me and the oTTomator team, and for all of you guys as well. I mean, I know that this was just super fun for everyone. So I definitely want to do more in the future. And maybe even doing some more specialized ones where instead of it's just like building any AI agent you want, we could have more of like a challenge where it's a special criteria or a certain kind of agent. Like there's a lot of ways we could put a spin on it to make it so it's not just a repeat of the same hackathon and make it super, super unique. Have it be like a very different kind of event, but still another hackathon. Let's see here. Yes, AI automations. So cool to see other community figures in the contest. That's right. That's why I brought them in. Because it was super cool just to collaborate with these other guys. And yeah, all of these other YouTubers like Nick and Zubair and Nate and Matt, like I really hope to continue to work with them and do more collabs in the future. Actually, even next week, I'm going to be a guest in Nate's community. So there's going to be like just an hour session where Nate is essentially going to be interviewing me. That's going to be next Thursday. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm always working with these guys because I'm not the only one doing cool stuff on YouTube. So I would love to be a part of what other people are doing as well. Shout out to the wife. Yes, that's right. That's right. Let's see here. Gaurav asked, where can we see the winners for all the prizes? So that little view that I showed where I was dragging the agents into the different spots for the prize amounts, that's not going to be something that actually is saved that you can go and see. It was just kind of within my view of the live agent studio. But you can at any point just go to the leaderboards. You just go to studio.oTTomator.ai and then go to the hackathon drop down on the top right and go to leaderboard. And there you can see all of the winners. And that's going to, even after the hackathon is done, I'm going to leave that up for a while just so that you all can check out the winners that we have for the hackathon. And then at some point, I'm going to kind of tear down everything from the hackathon and kind of archive it in a separate place on the Live Agent Studio just so we can get back to our original state of just it being a open source AI agent platform, not just for a hackathon. But all of the agents that I have up there right now for the hackathon, I'm going to keep up as well. So not only do you get to showcase your agent to the world, building it for just this hackathon, but also in perpetuity, I'm going to be having your agent up, which is super cool. So I hope that's another big plus for participating in the hackathon as well, even if you didn't get some of that prize money there. Let's see here. Genius Excel, one of our competitors here. Everyone created great AI agents. Thank you very much for dropping in and saying that. Let's see what else we got here. Simon said, sometimes it's hard to not feel a bit sad about the results. But all of you are right. This was an incredible, valuable experience, and we should be proud for even attempting such a thing. Thank you all. Yeah, thank you very much, Simon, for saying that. And I totally understand that it can be a little unfortunate if you put a lot of work into building an awesome agent, which you did, by the way. And Simon, I think that you built an incredible agent. Like, please do not get me wrong. I put you up on the community voting for a reason. And I took time to read through all of your documentation that you did a really good job with. So you did great, but I totally understand. But yeah, thank you for having a positive view on it as well. Like, it is a great experience, learning experience to be a part of this. And really, we're at the forefront of AI agent innovation with what we're doing as a community. I mean, no one's really doing anything that's much cooler than what we're building right here for this hackathon. So yeah, it's just great to be a part of it. All right, what else we got here? Great job, brother. This channel became my favorite this year. Learning a lot. Thanks for your efforts. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. That really does mean a lot. All right, great challenge. I agree. Big W for all. Lawrence said, so much creativity and talent here. And I very much agree with every single one of your guys' agents here. All right, and then the last comment that I've got here, and then I'll go back over to looking at some of these specific winners here, and I just want to like talk about them a little bit. What about the winners for the special category, like best voiceful agent and the likes? So yeah, I showed all of that just a little bit ago when I was dragging all the agents into the place that they won. So yeah, and agents voted by Max, and then the best voiceful agents were just the ones highest up on the leaderboard that were made with VoiceFlow. So hope that makes sense. And then yeah, the other thing that I want to say before I switch back over here is that, I mean, I already said this, but I just want to emphasize that I will be reaching out, the oTTomator team and I will be reaching out to all of you individual winners to make sure we get you your prize money. That is very well deserved. So yeah, now I'm going to switch my view back over. Let's actually take a look at some of these agents really quick. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time like actually trying every single one of them right now. I just want to call out things that I liked about each of these agents quickly. And then we'll go on to the big thing that I've been teasing a little bit already here. So yeah, I just want to talk about really just every single one of these agents had different things about them that I appreciated a lot. Like, it wasn't always just the same thing. It wasn't always just like, oh, this agent worked really well, or this agent was so unique, or this agent had good documentation. Like, every single one of them had different things that really made them stand out. And so that's why I think it's going to be kind of fun right now, just to like quickly go through every single one of these here and just, yeah, talk about what I liked about them. So the first one is the StreamBuzz agent. And let me actually open this up here. I'll go into the GitHub just so that we can see this here, because he had very, very good documentation. So Mohammed, you definitely deserve the win for this hackathon. Your agent is powerful and your documentation is very good. And that's actually one of the big things that I would suggest as feedback to a lot of you who entered in this competition is there is definitely a big room for improving documentation overall. And I think as someone who is a software engineer or just building AI agents, whatever it might be, when you're creating these kind of things, it's very important to not just focus on functionality, but also focus on the presentation and the documentation of your agent. Because in the end, especially if it's something that's open source, or even if it's closed source, but you're working with a team, the way that you communicate how to use your agent, what makes it valuable, what goes into building it, all those different things is super important. And so Mohammed did a very good job with this with his documentation, because he talks about like why Streambuzz, why even bother with this, and really what's super cool about Streambuzz is you can tie it to a YouTube live stream, and then it'll use an LLM to filter through the comments that come through the YouTube live stream chat, and it'll display to you the ones that are important that he's calling buzzes, so that you can not have to be drowned in all of the comments in your live stream, but still pick out the ones that are important that you'd want to reply to. And so, yeah, he did an absolutely phenomenal job with this. And it's so creative how he was able to make it so that you can start a live stream watch with Streambuzz, and how it spits out the comments that you actually want to pay attention to. And he has like this job that runs periodically in the background to watch for these comments and put them out to the front end. And yeah, of course, he has all this documentation here of how it's integrated directly with the Live Agent Studio, which is super important for the competition. He's got a demo. I mean, this is just very impressive documentation, and the agent works super well too. So absolutely phenomenal job there. And yeah, then next up we have the Third Brain MCP agent. And this one I kind of already I spoke to a little bit already. But this one is so cool. Here, I'll actually go into this one so we can see a little test here. Because MCP, Model Context Protocol, for those of you who don't know, it's kind of Claude's way to standardize being able to inject tools into an AI agent. And so for this example here, Third Brain, he has this weather MCP server. And so it's essentially an MCP server that has access to weather data based on a location or whatever. And so it has these functions here that you inject into your agent. So you could literally take this MCP server and go onto Claude Desktop or whatever else supports MCP, but he turned the oTTomator Live Agent Studio into a platform that is compatible with MCP, which is just absolutely phenomenal. And so you can ask it, a question like, let's see if I can just go to one of my other chats here. Or I guess it did it on a different account here. But I could ask it like, what is the weather in Las Vegas today? And it'll use that MCP server to find the weather in Las Vegas for today. And the cool thing is like, this is dynamic. This agent doesn't have a weather tool baked into it. It's referencing this MCP server that's defined in configuration that we can update in real time. And you can at any point just inject any other tools that you want into this agent, and then use the /list command to see which tools are available to you. And so that's the benefit of MCP overall. And then he brought it into the Live Agent Studio, which is just so cool. So absolutely phenomenal job with that. And then, yeah, I have the random sort here for my agent. So I'm actually going to change this to a different sort just so that I can remember where I'm actually at here. Okay, the next agent really quick is the Ask Reddit agent. And this one, Kai, you did an awesome job with this. And I'll show that. So a little bit ago, I said that he did something unique with this agent that no other agent did for the Live Agent Studio Hackathon. Just check this out. So this agent takes a little bit longer to run because it actually does a lot of web search and fetching Reddit data behind the scenes. But you ask it a question like best sci-fi movies, and then it goes out to Reddit to get an answer for you. So you can ask it some more opinionated things that usually you wouldn't be able to get the best results with for something like just going to ChatGPT, because LLMs aren't really good at these kind of more like opinionated questions. And so here we go. We got some answers, and then look at what he did. He created a custom front-end component to display the Reddit search results. There was not a single other agent in the hackathon that actually leveraged what I gave as an option here to create a custom React component to display something in a more fancier way for one of the AI responses. And he even shows you can click on this drop down here to see like the arguments for the tool call and the results that we got back from his Reddit search tool that his Pydantic AI agent has. So this is just so cool. So nice job, Kai. You did a really good job with this agent here. So yeah, let me go back and then change the order again. Okay, and then we have the travel agent. So yeah, this one is the best voice flow agent. I'll just kind of go to a previous conversation that I had here. Oh man, actually sorry. I'm on a different account than the one I did to test most of these agents, so I can't show one of like the full conversations I had with these guys. Um, but yeah, basically you start by describing where you want to go, and then it'll walk you through a couple of questions that it has for you, and then it'll create a full itinerary for you. And it even has this image carousel that pops up that displays its recommendations for certain locations within where you want to stay, or if you are a more, if it's a more broad question, like you want to figure out where you want to go overall, it'll give you like images of the different locations, the different countries, whatever. Absolutely phenomenal job with the travel agent here. And so, yeah, I don't want to spend the time fully testing every single agent, so I'm not going to go through that full conversation. I wish I was on my account that where I had actually tested it fully multiple times, which I did for like all of your guys' agents. So yeah, and then next up we have the dynamic dental clinic chatbot agents. This was built by Simon. He was one of the guys that I showcased a couple comments for a little bit ago. And Simon, you really did do a phenomenal job with his agent here, because I haven't seen something like this before. Essentially, he made it so that you can walk through a conversation with an agent here. And so you like imagine you are a dental clinic who wants a chatbot to help you with booking, or just like to handle customer support. You walk through a conversation with this chatbot here, and it'll ask you questions about your business, figure out all your information and what you want this bot to do for you and everything. And then it'll create a chatbot just for you. So he has this Airtable table where he has all these custom chatbot records available so that each one of these clinics can essentially have a unique URL for a chatbot that this agent, this like first agent, creates on the fly for you based on all the information that you give it in the conversation that you have with it right here. Very, very impressive. So nice job, Simon, with this agent. Again, I'm not going to go through the whole thing and set this up because that would take quite a while if I did that for every single agent. But yeah, like you can see what I'm saying at the start here, where all of these agents are cool for such different reasons. So yeah, just so cool to see all your guys' submissions come through here. And then yeah, we have the NBA predictions agent. This one up next here. So this one did not get top 10, but honestly, I was kind of surprised because I thought that this was so cool. Here, I got a prompt that I already had here, so I'll just show this so I don't have to wait for a response here. But you can ask it about any upcoming NBA game, and it uses this specific API called Ball Don't Lie, which I thought was a funny name for an API. And it'll go and fetch the information from that API about this game, including like who's playing and who's injured on each team and all that stuff. And then it feeds it into the LLM to make a prediction where it'll like actually give you a percentage of how confident it is and who it thinks is going to win the game, and give you a little bit of an analysis as well. So cool. Like really, really fun example here of an agent that could actually help you if you're in the middle of March Madness or something like that, which I thought was super cool. So yeah, nice job with that agent as well. What else do we got here? Then we have the course guider agent. So this one won the best N8N agent, which is super cool because you give it a topic of something that you want to learn about. And like look at all this output. It gives you this full timeline and suggestions for like basically creating a course for yourself to learn a certain topic, which I think is super valuable because a lot of times like you don't want to pay thousands of dollars for a boot camp, like a 6-month boot camp to learn something. But you also just don't want to like try to figure out your own learning path entirely from scratch for what you'd want to learn to master a certain topic like generative AI development. So this bot just like helps you formulate like what should you actually spend your time on month to month to learn something, which I thought was really cool. So yeah, it definitely does deserve the best N8N agent. Nice job with this one. So yeah, let's go on to the next one here. What else do we got? The YouTube summary agent. This one's really cool. Let me go into this really quick. This one's super practical, especially for someone like me that I not only do I make a ton of YouTube content, but I also consume a ton of YouTube content as well from other AI content creators as I'm prepping for my videos and just learning other things. And then also for other hobbies as well that I have for things like fitness. I'm always on YouTube for that. I mean, it's really cool because you just give it a YouTube video or a playlist URL so it can consume an entire playlist and it'll summarize the videos for you and even give you like the top comments that you have that are from the video as well, which is really cool. So it gives you a lot of metadata as well. Also, some things like it gives a lot more than a summary. In this case, the transcript wasn't available. Not really sure what happened there. Um, but yeah, like you can imagine, like when you have the summary here, you've got that plus all this metadata plus top comments. Like it really gives you the overall idea of the video, and you can pick out any details from the summary as well, which is super cool. What else we got here? All right. Oh yeah, the tweet generator agent. This one's really cool. Helping you with ideas for, like, you can say like write a tweet about DeepSeek R1, boom. And then not only does it give you one idea, it gives you three. So you can use this and kind of pick and choose what you want. Because a lot of times, oh yeah, and it searches the web with Brave as well. Just to like get some more context to actually help you generate a better response. Also, a lot of times when you tweet about something that's in more of the current news, an LLM completely fails to help you write that tweet just because of its training cutoff. So yeah, it gives you a few drafts to pick from, which is really good because a lot of times LLMs will mess up once or twice, but then their second or third try will be a lot better. And so just having a few options to pick from, I think is super good. So yeah, I am doing kind of like a full showcase of some of these agents here that are quicker and you don't have to have a full conversation with, but I hope that I'm really doing it justice for even the agents that I don't try fully, just speaking to what I like so much about it. So yeah, we have the lead generator agent. So this one's pretty cool because it's an agent that's built around a specific API, hunter.io. And I think that this is going to be a big thing in the future for AI agents in general. It's just agents that are built around a specific API, like Hunter.io in this case, or an agent that's built around the Go high level API, or it's built around the Google Drive API that can kind of just like perform all the actions that the API usually can. But that way you don't have to build a full front end to work with the API or have to deal with the different parameters and getting things set up there, because that's all ingested into the knowledge for this agent, so it knows how to, based on a simple request like get the email count and department statistics for apple.com, it's able to formulate all the parameters, make that API call, and then get the final response here. Which, yeah, I have this little glitch in the studio where sometimes it duplicates a message. I still have to look into that. But anyway, it's really cool. Like the information it gives you is super practical, especially if you're trying to generate leads for your business, which is what this is for, using Hunter.io. So yeah, I thought this was a really neat and practical agent as well. And then we have Gilbert, the real estate agent. This one's really cool because it uses Zillow under the hood, so you can essentially have a conversation with this agent to find out anything that you want about any property here. And so I'm not going to go through the full demo of this one right now, but I could ask it for, like properties between $300,000 and $500,000 in Montana, whatever. Like, and it'll help me figure out, like, based on my location, good properties to look into, all using Zillow, which really is like the best real estate API that you're going to have out there. So I mean, maybe Redfin, but yeah, Zillow is great. So yeah, super cool agent. What else do we got here? Oh, I forgot to change the order here. All right. And I'll go back to the comments after I finish going through these agents really quick. Actually, man, there's so many because all of you guys made such incredible agents that I had to put a lot up. And okay, by the way, you guys have no idea how much time it took to get all of these agents up. And for those of you who aren't aware how I actually did this, I took every single one of your agents that are built with Python and I created a Docker container for every single one of them. So I have this massive Docker Compose stack that has all of your agents defined with all of the environment variables that each one is expecting. It took a long time to get all of that configured. And then for VoiceFlow, the custom integration that I have with the Live Agent Studio, I also have a Docker container for every single one of your VoiceFlow agents for that integration. And then for N8N, obviously that's just running on my N8N instance, so it's not quite the same thing. But even that, I mean, took some time to get all that configured as well. So I have this massive Docker Compose stack for all these agents, deployed them on my machine, which actually almost ran out of disk space getting all these agents up, which that was kind of nuts. And then yeah, getting all of these up on the platform here, like it took a while because I have to fill out all this information with like the image and the labels and the webhook URL and like all of the details about the author, like all of that I had to fill out for every single one of these agents. It was a grind, but it was so worth it. I just had a blast doing this. Um, so yeah, anyway, we had another real estate agent, which I thought this one was cool, in particular just because it ingests a knowledge base of a bunch of properties within a specific region. So it's kind of different than Gilbert because it was using more like classic RAG instead of the Zillow API to look up properties that you could imagine having in kind of like a database if you are, the agency that is selling these homes or whatever it might be. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, let me go on to the next agent here. Keep scrolling. Oh, Tiny DM. This one's super fun. So this is kind of like the NBA predictions agent, where it's not like some super practical thing for a business. It's not an agent that like a business would want, but there are going to be so many people that are super into D&D that would absolutely love this agent right here because you can ask it to help you with anything with your campaigns, like create an exciting encounter for me. And it uses Gemini under the hood to get super fast responses. And it can answer like any of these requests here. And then like just the system prompt that went into making it talk the way it does is just so cool. Like it never speaks normal English at all, no matter what you're trying to get it to do for you. It always has this kind of fun way of speaking, which I thought was really cool. So yeah, nice job, Michael, with this one for sure. What else we got? I gotta change the sort again. Oh yeah, the web page scraper agent. So this one's really cool because, and I'm gonna go a little bit faster here, just because almost to the end here. But yeah, you give it one URL, and then it'll find other links from that main URL and scrape those as well. So it's more of like an intelligent scraper where it's not just like get me the content of one page, but also find related pages based on links in that first one and give me a summary of all that together. So this was a creative and super practical agent. I think like so many people are interested in web scraping right now. So that's super valuable. And then we have YouTube Educator Plus by David Zoe. Sorry if I'm not quite saying your last name correctly. But yeah, this agent's super cool because it's different than other YouTube agents where it doesn't just give you a summary of the agent or of the YouTube video. It gives you a fill in the blank worksheet so you can kind of quiz yourself about the video that you just watched to make sure that you really understood the information. And then you have like the answers here as well. And then a quiz. So fill in the blank and then a quiz. It gives you supplemental resources, so that's really cool. And then it even gives you a PDF version. Let me just show this really quick. It gives you a PDF version as well, which he said that it's not perfect. I think there's a little bit of rendering issues, but it looks really good to me. This is just so cool. So you can have a PDF quiz for any YouTube video that you want. So I appreciate like how good of an idea this is. Like you're taking something basic like summarize a YouTube video and you're adding a very interesting and practical twist on it as well. So nice job with that. Oh, and then this one, the Smart Select Multi-Tool Agent by PMF. I thought this one was cool because I actually have to go to the source to really explain this. Um, oh no, that won't actually give me what I need. Um, yeah, I kind of have to just explain this right here. So it uses a GitHub repository of system prompts. It takes the first 100 characters of your message to it, and it determines the best system prompt based on that. So if you want to write an essay, or you have a question, or you want to write a short story, like all those would require the agent to behave in very different ways, and so it fetches dynamically the system prompt to tell the agent how to behave to get you the answer based on what you're looking for. And it does that all through a GitHub repository. So if you add prompts into the GitHub repository, they'll dynamically be available for the agent for the next message that you send to it, which is really cool. So really nice idea. And then we have a general research agent from Sam here, built with N8N. This one's cool because it's just like so practical. Like almost everyone needs some sort of agent to help them with general research. Even if you don't want to trust an AI agent to entirely do the research for you on a specific topic or just catching up with the latest AI news, whatever it is, like it's still really helpful to have an agent help you with that so that you can maybe like be running these queries along with doing the Google search or working in Perplexity, whatever you're doing, like at the same time. So yeah, I thought this was a very practical agent. I don't have to wait for the full response here. It takes a little bit because it actually there's a full workflow here that's doing much more than just like a single web search. So that's why it's taking a little bit longer. We don't have to wait for the final response here. Yeah, super cool. Got a few more here. I really do want to go through each one individually because all these are so impressive. We already went over Streambuzz, of course. GSAM Python agent. This one was really neat because it helps you generate app ideas and names. So it's kind of like your assistant at the start of building a product or a SaaS or an agent, whatever it might be, because it'll help you with ideas. Like, give me ideas for an AI app, and then boom, it'll just spit out like a bunch of options for you, um, which I thought was really cool. Like the kind of thing that everyone needs at some point is an AI agent to help with ideas. And sure, you could just go to something like GPT or R1 or Claude or whatever and ask it a similar question. But all of the system prompting under the hood, and he has some tool calls for web research and other things that I don't need to get into right here to make it so it's a lot more robust than just like giving this question to Chat GPT. I mean, that's why it's taking longer as well, is just because it's going out and actually like fetching all the information and conglomerating it into a good presentation for you of many different ideas for an app. So yeah, really, really neat. I don't have to watch or wait. We don't have to wait for the whole thing to finish here. So let's scroll back down. The auto markdown agent. This one's simple but very practical. You give it any file, like PowerPoints, Word documents, Excel, like anything. You upload it into this agent and then it turns it into Markdown, which is very useful because Markdown is what AI loves to ingest. Way more than any other file format. AI is made for Markdown. And so being able to convert any document into Markdown is ideal for when you want to get things in the format to put into a vector database for RAG. So I thought that auto markdown was super good for that. And I like his name as well because he really named it for the hackathon, calling it auto markdown, which is good. And then we have our intelligent invoicing agent. So this guy got third place overall. Congrats again, Tino. And this one's really cool because I mean, I deal with this myself. Invoices are a pain in the butt to deal with and then look back on retroactively if you're trying to calculate things for taxes or just to figure out your revenue for a month or a week or whatever. And so having this agent that you can add invoices into its knowledge base and then ask it questions about later is just so practical. And one of the things that it extracted from the PDF as well. So just a lot of things that it put in place to avoid hallucinations that I don't think a lot of other agents really had. So that's why I think Intelligent Invoicing Agent was super, super cool. And is also hooked into Google Drive as well. So you just like dump your invoices in Google Drive and then it ingests it into its knowledge base within a SQL database. So very awesome. And then last three that we have here really quick. So the table reservation agent. Every restaurant is going to need an AI agent in the future that can help it book, that can help customers book for certain times at your restaurant. And this one did it well. So yeah, super practical. It was implemented well. Yeah, great agent. So nice job with this. And it used VoiceFlow as well, which I think VoiceFlow is the perfect platform for something like this because the thing that makes VoiceFlow so good, and the reason that I bothered like reaching out to them for sponsorships for the hackathon, and I've worked with them in the past, is because AI agents in general can't be trusted to handle an entire conversation when that conversation can have so many different parts to it. And what I mean by that is like a lot of times a conversation needs to be segmented. Like the introduction to talking to an agent, the agent needs to communicate in a certain way. And then you have the middle of the conversation where the agent might be doing something for you. That has to be different. And then the end of the conversation needs to be different as well. And VoiceFlow makes it so you can have different workflows for the different parts of a conversation so that when an AI agent is in a certain part, it'll always behave that the way that you want it for that segment of the conversation. I know that that's kind of a little bit vague without like actually showing you an end-to-end workflow and really like explaining that with a visual. But I think you can kind of see what I'm saying there. Like if you have an AI agent where in the system prompt you're like at the start of the conversation behave this way and then in the middle of the conversation behave this way, sometimes it might get muddled and revert back to a different behavior in a place that it's not supposed to. But VoiceFlow really enforces that because there's different workflows for different parts of the conversation. And so something like a table reservation assistant is perfect for that. Because definitely once you already have the time and the location for the reservation, you need a very different way to handle the conversation and make sure the agent doesn't go back to trying to find a different time or something like that. So anyway, shout out to VoiceFlow for being an awesome platform as well. And then of course to Genius Excel for his awesome agent too. And then we have our indoor farming agent. And this is another really good example where the documentation was just phenomenal. So Aditya, not only did he make a great agent that really makes you deserve second place for the hackathon, but just like StreamBuzz, you did really, really good with your documentation. He's even got a YouTube video. And then actually, if I visit the full repo here, because the images don't load when I just have his README in the open source oTTomator repo. So yeah, I'll show this one here. He's got images of the greenhouses that the agent has knowledge of in real time. Looks so cool. And then he talks about all the different things the agent can do. He gives an overview, kind of just like providing context for the agent, in this case talking about the greenhouses. He's got demos, just like StreamBuzz did. And again, showing how it's integrated with the live Agent Studio, which is just super cool. And all these conversations, showing the different ways that you can use the agent. Just really, really good job. And all the charting functionality and being able to ask it for images. And he talks about how you can get notifications right from N8N to your phone. Like literally real-time updates for when things are happening with the greenhouses, which is just so cool. So nice job, Aditya, with this one. Just absolutely phenomenal job. Yeah, and then the last one that we got here is the N8N YouTube Assistant. So we have a few other ones from YouTube, but the thing that I liked about this one is that you can give it a URL to a YouTube video, and it'll permanently add it to its knowledge base. So all the other YouTube agents were more like, give me a link, and then in real time, I'm going to analyze it and give you a summary or metadata or the quiz, whatever. Like, that's good. Those agents were great too. But this one has more persistence, where it'll actually build up a knowledge base over time of YouTube videos that you give it. So it can be more of like a long-term YouTube assistant building on the knowledge of the things that you care about, which I thought was really cool. So you can add it to your knowledge base and then ask it questions about these videos, which, yeah, really, really cool. So that was a mouthful, but that is everything for all of these agents here. Absolutely great job again from everyone. And so, yeah, really that closes down the hackathon here. That is an IDU to what I've been pouring the last month and a half into. So much time has gone into this from me and the rest of the oTTomator team, and from all of you guys as well building these agents. And again, huge shout out to the sponsors of this hackathon. We got, here, I'll go to another page here. I'll go back to the prizes. We got VoiceFlow, N8N, and OpenRouter. Shout out to the guest judges. Again, we've got Nick, Nate, Zubair, and Matt, all YouTubers that have great channels as well, and they helped me judge all of your guys' agents. And then again, shout out to all of you for building incredible agents for this hackathon. And more hackathons to come in the future. I'm pretty sure of it. So yeah, let me switch back over to me, and then I'll highlight some more comments again. So I just want to chat with you guys again a little bit here. And then I want to showcase something big that I have been working on, that I'm going to be covering a lot on my channel in the next month or so here. And then I think that'll be it for the stream here, because it's already been an hour anyway. And I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit, which always happens with these live streams, but they are well worth it. So let's see here. I'm just kind of catching up on the chat really quickly here. Let's see. Michael said, this sort of feedback is so valuable for those of us who are new to software development. And yeah, this chat is from a little bit ago, so I'm not sure if you're talking about me or someone else in the chat. But I mean, I'll just say really quick, like that is my goal, is to not only just showcase these agents really quickly to really highlight them and amazing work that you guys have done, but also just talk about things that some agents did really well that maybe yours didn't, or things that you haven't thought about, just so you can just be aware that like documentation is super important. Or like Max said, make sure that your agent can handle when things go wrong. A lot of agents didn't really do that. So I hope that kind of feedback really just helps you understand what goes into better building better AI agents or just better production code in general. So yeah. Kai said, "Thanks guys, had a blast building it." And Mohammed said, "Nice work, Kai." This is for the Ask Reddit agent, which yeah was super good. So yeah, nice work with that. Let's see who wins that game today. I assume you're talking about the Super Bowl, which is yeah a big day here in America for the finale for the NFL. Yeah, I'll be checking out the game later. Luckily, it's a long ways away from now. It's later on tonight, so my stream didn't overlap at all. Which, by the way, usually I will not be live streaming on Sunday mornings. It's morning my time in Central Time. But yesterday I had a my first ever CrossFit competition that my wife and I did together. So I wasn't available to stream Saturday morning my time, which is when I think I'm usually planning on doing my live streams. So yeah, I was far away at a CrossFit competition with I didn't even have my computer with me, so obviously couldn't live stream then. But yeah, usually Saturday mornings is when I'll be doing my live streams. Genius Excel said my AI agent didn't work well in the live agent studio. Redirection to Stripe payment page. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It's kind of tough. Like, but your agent worked well up until then, but I think stuff with Stripe was probably just hard to configure, right? It was genuinely difficult for me to configure everything exactly right for every single agent that I brought onto the live agent studio. So I did my best, and I tried to represent the agents the best that I possibly could. But that's why I had a huge disclaimer on the voting guidelines section of the studio, just saying like, hey, you should consider both the live agent studio and all the agents in beta because this is just a competition where everyone's building new things and the live agent studio itself is new. Hard to expect everything to be working absolutely perfect. But yeah, I mean, your agent was still absolutely phenomenal. Um, how did they get Zillow API access? I didn't know that was difficult to get actually. But I mean, if you know more than me, I'd be curious too if that actually is something that's not easy to get. But I'd be surprised if it was difficult. I mean, usually for websites that are just displaying public data like that, it's not like they're too crazy, at least from what I know. Um, yeah, loved Tiny DM. Need a little work, I think, on how it functions. Yeah, Tiny DM was a super cool agent. I think conversation history was something that it wasn't quite processing conversation history correctly. Like, I didn't seem to really acknowledge what it said earlier when I asked follow-up questions. But it was a very phenomenal agent. And by the way, if any of you are curious to follow up with these people, like if you have feedback for their agents, which I'm sure everyone participating in this hackathon would love feedback for their agents, you can always just reach out to them on the think tank, thinktank.otomator.ai, or if you go to Live Agent Studio and you see the author's name for the agent, you can click on it and it'll bring you to a link, like maybe their GitHub or their LinkedIn, their YouTube, whatever, and you should be able to reach out to them there. So yeah, I think feedback would probably be appreciated by everyone. I know if I built an agent for a hackathon, I would definitely be open to feedback for sure. Yeah, and then Mohammed said, incredible effort, Cole. Huge respect for putting it all together. Thank you very much for that. Yeah. And then I wanted to understand how the web scraper agent handles the backend tech stack because we need different proxy for smooth functionality. Oh yeah, I assume you mean like how is it able to actually scrape different pages, like if they have captchas or are blocking certain things. Yeah, that's a good question. And I mean, really, all these agents are open source. So you can go to the Live Agent Studio, search for that web scraper agent, and you can click into it and view the N8N workflow for it. And you can bring it into your own N8N instance and see how it handles things. And I mean, maybe it doesn't necessarily handle all the different more complex things like different proxies that you're talking about, but you can still take a look and see, maybe get some ideas from it. So yeah, every single one of these agents are open source. That's part of our commitment with oTTomator, my commitment to you and what I do on my channel all the time. And also that's part of the agreement with participating in the hackathon is these agents are open source. Not only does the community get to vote on them and try them out on the studio, but actually see how they work under the hood as well. So everything is available in GitHub for you. What else we got here? Thank you again for setting this up. The Live Agent Studio is the best. Loved it. Thank you very much. And yeah, like I said, all these agents are going to be in perpetuity on the Live Agent Studio, and I'm going to be continuing to build out this platform as well. Because really, like, I have a big vision for the Live Agent Studio just to be this one-stop shop for everyone to work on open source AI agents together and just see what other people have made and really forming a community around it, just like I did with Bolt.diy and other things as well. Just having a community around big things that we're doing together, really pushing the limits of what's possible with AI. So yeah, a lot more to come on the Live Agent Studio as well, not just with more hackathons like I'll probably do in the future, but with so many other things as well. And also all the agents that I build on YouTube, like I'm really planning on continuing to put them on the Live Agent Studio, just so that like when I make a YouTube video on an agent, you can also go to the studio and interact with it in real time to test it out. So I'm teaching you how to build it, and you can try it before you even put anything on your own computer to see if that it's actually working for what you might want to use it for. Let's see here. Next question. Will we be able to ask questions about end-to-end workflows and how to set up fast API integrations with Python? Maybe could you clarify your question a little bit? It's a little vague to me what you're asking. So I'll move on to the next one, but yeah, feel free to clarify. Cole, you're doing a great job. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. A lot of hard work going into these kind of things. All right, next question. Will you update the agents when we fix bugs or extend these agents? Yes, so if you want to fix bugs in your agent or extend it in any way, you can definitely feel free to, well, there's a couple ways you could do it. You could resubmit the agent. Let me actually go back over to my screen and show you this. So I'll swap back over to my screen and go over to the, oh yeah, so homepage, Live Agent Studio. This is what's going to be up even after the hackathon is archived on the Live Agent Studio. You can go to the submit agent right here in the top right, and you can submit your agent. So even if you've already submitted your agent for the hackathon or even outside of the hackathon, you can resubmit and just say, let me just kind of get through here. You can even like just say in the description, like, this is a resubmission. I am extending it in XYZ ways, whatever. Like you could just say something like that, and then I'll just know that like you've already submitted your agent. It's already on the studio. This is what it's called. You just want to update it. And then I can take care of that for you. And then the other thing is you can always just email me if you want. If you just want to contact me, you can go to my YouTube profile and click to find my email and just reach out to me there if you're curious to just contact me directly to extend your agent whatever way. So definitely down to do that. So yeah, good question. Great work putting this together. Thank you very, very much. It was well worth the time. This was just been an absolute blast. So yeah, thank you everyone for making this possible, really. Lawrence asked, what is GSAM? So yeah, good question. So again, I'll swap back over to my view here. I'll just look up GSAM again. So honestly, I was a little confused by this myself with what GSAM is. It's a tool to help the software development process for any application, which is a little vague. It allows generating code, images, or videos or answers from a text prompt. Kickstart code used with the generic suite library, which this thing, the generic suite library, is a library for designing backend and front-end apps with Python and React.js. So I guess it's just kind of a tool to help you. I assume it's like Python API with React front-end, and this is just a library to help you build those kind of applications. So I gotta be honest, it's a little bit vague to me. I still thought the agent was absolutely cool and the functionality was really good. And like this seems like it could be worth looking into because I do actually love building my backends with Python and then my front ends with React, specifically with Next.js. So yeah, I think this could be cool. But yeah, it was a little hard for me to like actually put a lot of time looking into this. But it looks pretty neat. So anyway, that's what GSAM is. So I'll switch back over to my view here. All right. Yeah, I'll take a couple more comments here, and then I'll dive into the next big thing that I want to talk about for a little bit, and then that'll be it for the live stream here. But I'll spend a good amount of time on that because I'm pretty excited. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself here. So Tino asked, "Are you hiring to help build the studio?" So good question. So I probably will be in the future. Maybe not right now. Still kind of in the planning phase for what I want to do with it. But yeah, like I said, I have big plans for it. And so I think, yeah, definitely at some point. Um, Kareen asked, okay, thanks. MCP agent. Yeah, okay, so yeah. Thanks for calling out. I didn't realize that you were building the third party MCP agent, which is absolutely phenomenal. So that is definitely the kind of agent where there is a lot of opportunities to continue to do some incredible things with it. So, and that one in particular, I would love it if you wanted to continue to extend that one, because I think that has some huge potential. I mean, it already is really amazing. So, yeah, definitely. All right. Oh, okay. So, previous question that you expanded on. Thank you, Gazillionaire, for expanding on this. I'm trying to learn how to connect Python Fast API to N8N workflows. So, I was wondering if you could focus on how to set this up later on a live stream or in future videos. So, I haven't taught on how to connect Python Fast API to N8N workflows, but I have taught how to connect a front end like React or Streamlit to N8N. And the reason that I haven't focused on Fast API and N8N together is because they're both kind of backends in a way. Like generally I consider you'd build one or the other. Like you'd build a Python Fast API endpoint to connect to GitHub or YouTube, or you'd build an N8N workflow as an API endpoint to connect to GitHub or YouTube, whatever. So, I mean, there definitely are use cases where you'd want to use them together, but in general, it'd be more one or the other for most use cases, which is why I haven't focused on it. So I definitely could in the future, but I'd be curious more what your use case is where you'd actually want to use both instead of just picking one as your backend to keep things simpler. So I think that's kind of what where I'd end that right there. So yeah, that is everything that I wanted to cover for the comments here and the hackathon. So let me remove that comment here, clear this up. All right. Now on to the last thing. This I'm so excited for. And I've actually already started recording a video for this on Wednesday. So I'll have a really exciting video up on Wednesday for all of you. So first of all, no video today. I usually post a video at 7 o'clock Central Time on Sundays, but this live stream is kind of in place of that essentially. Um, I mean, I wish I could have a video out as well, but it's good just to leave some time for this live stream to get put on the algorithm as well before I just have another video that trumps over it. So my next video will be Wednesday, the usual Wednesday time, 7 o'clock Central Time. And I'm building something big because in my last video on my channel, or one of the last videos, I covered building agentic workflows with reasoning LLMs like R1 or O3 Mini. I did it with small agents, which is it's a good platform. It's really easy to get started building agents with small agents, but it doesn't get you super far. And so I mentioned in that video that I'm thinking about doing something with LangGraph and Pydantic AI together to essentially have this combination, like the best combination in the entire world for building AI agents. Like I actually seriously believe it. And showing you guys the kind of crazy things you can do building these kind of agentic workflows with regular LLMs and reasoning LLMs and routing and graphs and all of that together. And I'm trying to teach it in a super concise way. So I am starting an open source project. I'm not going to like go super crazy with this right away. It's primarily, at least at first, going to be instructional, like creating an open source project to teach using Pydantic AI and LangGraph together to build extremely powerful AI agents. But also, this kind of has potential to go super far. So I'm going to pull this up right here. And this is what I'm going to be talking about on in my Wednesday video, actually showing you how I built this. And then I'm going to be taking this like a lot further as well, like in future videos on my channel. So, and my wife actually helped me make a really cool image for this too. So she helped with all of the images for the hackathon, and she made this herself, actually not using AI at all. She made this completely herself, which is insanely impressive. But anyway, this is Archon. It is an AI agent that can build other AI agents. And it is all powered by Pydantic AI and LangGraph. So, like I said, I seriously believe that Pydantic AI and LangGraph together is the most powerful combination for building AI agents out of everything out there. And there's merit for other things like using no code tools like N8N and VoiceFlow. Sure, that's great. And there's a time and place for that. It's easier overall. I mean, this is not the easiest combination, but it's very powerful. And then there's other things as well. Like you have like Crew AI or Llama Index or LangChain. Like there's so many other good platforms out there. But this is just like a teaser right here. Like I'll speak more in my video on Wednesday why this is the best combination. But oh my goodness, the things that you can build with Pydantic AI and LangGraph is insane. And with Archon, I'm kind of knocking two birds with one stone here. Because not only am I going to use this as a way to teach how to build with Pydantic AI and LangGraph, this agent itself is also going to be able to build other AI agents that run with Pydantic AI and LangGraph. It's extremely meta. And that's what I'm really excited about because like as I build out Archon as a way to show how to build with LangGraph and Pydantic AI, you can also use this to help you build the agents that I'm teaching you how to build. Like just wrap your head around that for a second. Like I just think this is the perfect thing. And the way that I'm using this as more of like instructional material is I'm building it out in iterations. So like essentially, like you can see, I actually have the first two iterations available in GitHub right now. I have my first version, which doesn't use LangGraph at all. It's just a Pydantic AI agent that ingests the knowledge from the Pydantic AI documentation using Crawl for AI. I mean, I've already made videos on that already on my channel, so that it can build other Pydantic AI agents. So it's kind of like the simple first iteration. And the reason I build this without LangGraph at first is to kind of show the weaknesses of this version and why we would actually want to build something more robust using LangGraph. Because we get more complicated when we introduce a second tool. Like building agents with Pydantic AI is super simple. But then using both of these together, it's a lot more powerful and it's still pretty easy to understand. And my goal is to make it super clear as I show how to build these things, but it is more complicated. And so I'm using this second version as kind of like an intro into building an agent with Pydantic AI and LangGraph that can build other Pydantic AI agents, but build them much better than the first version can. That isn't a full agentic workflow. So I hope that makes sense. So V1 is Pydantic AI that can build other Pydantic AI. And then V2 is an agentic workflow with Pydantic AI and LangGraph that can build other Pydantic AI agents. And then version 3, I want to be Pydantic AI and LangGraph that can build other agents with both Pydantic AI and LangGraph. So I'm right now and in my video on Wednesday, I feel like I say Pydantic AI and LangGraph like 100 times together, and like, ugh, my tongue's getting dry from saying that so much. I guess I could just say these two frameworks or something. But yeah, I'm just so excited about this and a lot of other ideas that I have in the future as well. So I talk about future iterations that I want for this thing, like having like a self-feedback loop or maybe even like a tool library. So think of it like this way, like you have all these tools for interacting with Brave for web search or interacting with Google Drive, and you have these as like pre-packaged things that you could put in a knowledge base to fetch in real time to feed as context to the LLM. So like when you say I want to build an agent that can send Gmail messages, emails for me. It could pull a tool to do that so that the LLM doesn't have to come up with it itself and then hallucinate bad code. So you can have these things pre-packaged as a part of its knowledge base, things like that. And this could obviously get into things like MCP servers as well that you'd have pre-packaged and available to the agent. And then like all these iterations are going to get more and more complex with the kind of workflows that we build with LangGraph using Pydantic AI for our agents. And that's why I'm doing this iteratively. I'm starting really simple with something that like isn't going to work the best of the best right now, but it's my way to show you how we can get to something that is actually insanely powerful, the kind of thing that nothing can do right now. And like, let me be clear, this is already better than if you try to use something like Cursor or Windsurf to build your AI agents, because these things hallucinate when it comes to using AI agent frameworks like Pydantic AI. Like they don't have the latest on the documentation, and these LLMs have training cutoffs where they don't even know about Pydantic AI. And then when you try to use the web search tools or MCP servers or whatever within Cursor or Windsurf, it's just not enough. Like I've tried before to build a basic Pydantic AI agent in Windsurf, even trying to have it search through the Pydantic AI docs, and it just fails. Like you need something more robust like Archon to actually make that possible. And like that's just something huge that we're missing right now because we have tools like Lovable and Bolt that are able to build our front ends. But what about something like Lovable or Bolt that can actually build our AI agents? And so that's what this is. Well, that's what I'm super excited about. And I'm going to keep this all completely free and open source. And I'm going to keep building this out on my channel just to like really show how to use these tools together to build something amazing. And then you can use what we're building to help you build these things. So yeah, that's Archon in a nutshell. That's the thing that I wanted to tease right here that I'll be talking about a lot more on in my video on Wednesday. And I'll also be showing exactly how I built version 2 right here. So really getting into LangGraph and Pydantic AI for the first time. I've covered both on my channel before, but never together. So I'm really excited for this. And I also think I'm going to make it more of a longer video as well, because I really want to dive into this. This is worth the time to invest in. And I know that on my channel, I always say that you want to focus on capabilities and not tools. And actually, let me switch back over to my view before I get on my soapbox here. Because if you didn't see my video that I posted on January 1st, when I'm talking about like all the big things to focus on for 2025, the first thing that I said is focus on capabilities and not tools. And what I mean by that is don't get caught in the weeds of trying to master one tool or the prompting for one LLM, because in the end, these things get replaced all the time. So if you try to get really, really good at prompting for R1, or you try to get really, really good at using Crew AI, and you don't actually spend your time learning the higher level stuff like architecture for agentic workflows, for example, you're going to fall behind because Crew AI is going to get replaced by the next best thing. And then you're going to get stuck with a ton of knowledge that you spent hours and hours investing into that isn't actually useful anymore. And so my kind of warning there is to not just get super obsessed with just Pydantic AI and LangGraph, but they are the best right now. Like I actually believe that they're the best and they're completely free and open source. I'm always going to be sticking to things that are. But the things that like we can learn from using these two together are those higher level concepts that are really going to give you the leverage no matter what tool you end up using. Like if LangGraph gets replaced or Pydantic AI gets replaced with something that's easier to work with, you're still going to have the knowledge around what it takes to build these kind of agentic workflows using some sort of graph structure, using reasoning LLMs with faster LLMs together in a workflow. Like all those kind of things that the kind of knowledge is always going to be super pertinent. Those are the kind of things that I want to teach on, focusing on Pydantic AI and LangGraph because I really think they are the best right now. So that's my little soapbox that I wanted to get on really quick. And yeah, that's what I've got coming up here soon with Archon for my video on Wednesday and a lot more videos going into the future as well. So that is what I've got coming up. And yeah, I hope that a lot of you are excited for it. It looks like Hannibal is, so thank you for that. And let's see here. I'm just going to go through some of the comments here just because I didn't read the chat as I was talking about Archon and everything. Yeah, I hope you guys are excited just like I am. I'm super pumped for this. I created an agent for tracking crypto prices, giving the user a personalized recommendation. Late to submit, though. That looks really cool. I'm sorry that you were late. I'd love to have seen that. Sounds like straight fire. Thank you, Steven. Yes, I'm looking forward to this so much. Yeah, it looks like a lot of you guys are looking forward to it as well, which I'm hoping because I'm putting a lot of effort into this already. So yeah, okay, thank you for asking this. How easy will this be for someone who doesn't really know Python? So that's another reason that I'm really excited about Archon because I'm teaching about more technical things with Pydantic AI and LangGraph, but because Archon itself is an agent that can build Pydantic AI and LangGraph, it should make it more accessible to those of you who aren't super technical. Like maybe you mainly stick to no code tools, you only know a little bit of Python, whatever it might be, you can use Archon to help you work alongside what I'm doing here to build more robust agents with these tools. So my goal is to really make it so that it's accessible to everybody. And that's why I think that Archon is just the perfect project. It's super meta. And then, yeah, Korean said Pydantic also released a graph library. Yes, they did. And I actually do talk about this in my video on Wednesday, that they have their own version of something kind of like LangGraph. The reason that I'm using LangGraph instead, though, even though it would be kind of simple to just keep everything within the Pydantic AI ecosystem, it's just because LangGraph is a lot more robust. Like honestly, I've worked with LangGraph a lot before, and then when Pydantic AI released their graphs, I looked into all of their functionalities, and like there's so many things that LangGraph has that Graph by Pydantic AI doesn't have at this point, and maybe they will at some point, and maybe I'll switch to entirely using Pydantic AI and their graph library. And that's the kind of thing, like I was just saying, like capabilities, not tools. We're going to be learning how to build agentic workflows with Pydantic AI and LangGraph for now, but learning the higher leverage things so that we could switch to the graph library by Pydantic and really still retain all of our knowledge and have everything transfer over, all the skills that we've been working on learning how to build these kind of workflows. But definitely sticking with LangGraph for now. For the kind of robustness they have around streaming and human in the loop and interrupts and state management, a lot of the stuff that it seems like the graph library is getting to, but they're very, very, very new. Yeah, glad that some of you guys are excited about this as well. I fine-tuned an LLM to become a chair, but didn't win. I don't think I saw that submission come through. Let's see. I trade financial futures and want to build an agentic team that manages trade logic, risk, and optimizations. Can Archon help? Yes, the goal is to build Archon into something that would be able to do something as complex as this. I don't know if it could yet. Well, I mean, first of all, it only builds Pydantic AI agents currently, but I do want to make it into something that can build Pydantic AI and LangGraph so you can have an agentic team. And I want to get it to the point where it could build something as robust as this. And so again, Archon is instructional. I'm building it iteratively. So in its current state, when I'm just getting started teaching these things and building out Archon, I don't think it could do this yet. But maybe in a couple months, it could do this really easily. We'll see. I've got some crazy ideas for Archon. We'll see how far we can take it the next couple of months here. And yep, free and open source entirely. That is right. Henceforth known as the stack. That is right. Yep. Use an LLM to generate templates for these framework workflows. So I assume you're saying like use an LLM to build something with Pydantic AI and LangGraph to use as a template for other LLMs later on. And I think that's a good idea. I mean, of course, you have to worry about just LLMs will hallucinate code, so the template might be bad. But if you can have it generate the template and then refine it and then use that as a starting point for other LLMs when they're using something like Archon, I think that's a really good idea for sure. Waiting for the video. Glad to hear it. Hi from Japan. Greetings. Glad to have you here. It's so cool, all the people that we have from all over the world. Saw someone from Belgium earlier in the live stream. So welcome to you as well. Let's see here. Let's go Archon. Yes. Sounds amazing. I'm glad it does. Yeah, I'm super excited for it. Jay said I'm late. It is all good, Jay. Happy to have you here, man. Let's see here. I know a little Python, and I do JavaScript ecosystem now, so maybe I use this to learn Python. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And like maybe I could build a version of Archon for JS at some point, but it couldn't use Pydantic AI, obviously. It'd have to use something like LangChain JS, which I certainly could. Like I said, the goal of Archon is to not be tied down to specific frameworks. In fact, my idea is to just kind of build a whole architecture for an agent that can ingest the documentation and GitHub repo for any open source agent framework, whether it's Python or JS or Go or whatever language it is. And so hopefully by the time Archon is really developed out, it can actually be used for any framework. We just have to have some kind of standardized way to ingest the repo and the documentation and templates and examples, whatever it might end up being. So that is definitely the goal. All right, what else we got here? I'm going to end this stream probably in a little bit here, but got a couple more questions to get through. This has been great. I've had such a good time talking about Archon and then going over all the oTTomator AI Agent Hackathon winners as well. So can you explain about integrating an LLM into a Bolt app? I want to have an LLM check data and provide a response about the data. Is it easy to do? So the short answer is yes, it's pretty easy to do. The way that you would do this is you would create an API endpoint with Fast API, or it could be an end-to-end workflow, whatever it might be. And then you would have the front end call that API endpoint. that you have built in Bolt, Bolt.diy, Bolt.new, Lovable, whatever, AI coding assistant front end app builder that you have. And it can do that. Like you can create an API endpoint, give the URL to Bolt, and say, I want to call this URL when the user puts in a message, whatever. And it can help you with the parameters and everything for that. So I've done that a lot before, especially with N8N workflows, and then also with fast API endpoints. So I mentioned those two examples because that's what I've done before, even on my channel as well. Human in the loop is super important right now. Yes, that is very true. So for those of you who don't know, human in the loop is essentially having an agentic workflow built with something like LangGraph that is able to stop the execution at any given point that you define to receive some sort of feedback or approval from a user. So maybe you have an agentic workflow that does a bunch of research on a lead, on their business, and then it forms an email to send in Gmail. But before you actually send the email, you want to get a human approval to make sure that the LLM didn't hallucinate something super crazy so you would lose the lead. And you can do that with tools like LangGraph, where it'll interrupt, get some sort of approval for a human in a dashboard or a terminal, whatever it might be. And then once you get that approval, it'll then go and send the email. So that way, anything that you are worried about an LLM hallucinating with or doing something it shouldn't, you don't have to, because you can have those human in the loop interrupts baked into your workflows. And that's the kind of thing that I'll show how to do in my video on Wednesday as well with human in the loop, which is just super important. Because yeah, I mean, we're not at the point where we can trust AI to always do everything for us. Like AI can help us save time with things, or maybe draft an email instead of actually sending it. The kind of things that we don't have to give too much trust to, because they hallucinate way too much. As powerful as they are and as insanely cool as they are, that's why human in the loop is so important. So I'll be focusing on that on Wednesday for sure. How do you train Windsurf to utilize latest tech like Pydantic AI for easy coding? So the short answer is there's not a way to do this super well. And that's why I am building Archon, is because otherwise I might as well just try to build some MCP server to put into Windsurf so that it can code things with Pydantic AI. The longer answer is you can create a knowledge base of the Pydantic AI documentation, and then you can create an MCP server. So you essentially just create a tool that Windsurf can use to look up the documentation for Pydantic AI. And so that way it can at least reference the documentation to have some grounding into what Pydantic AI is, because otherwise Claude 3.5 Sonnet or whatever LLM you're using through Windsurf, it doesn't even know what Pydantic AI is because of the training cutoff. But I found that like even when an LLM can look up the Pydantic AI docs, it still hallucinates a ton, because you really have to know the intricacies of every single part of Pydantic AI, because there's a good amount that goes into building an agent, with the way that you set up your dependencies, the way that you define your agent and reference the model that you want to use, the way that you create your tools and work with the context injection that Pydantic AI has, or any other framework would have. Like, it's not quite enough. And so that's why I'm building Archon, is to be something a bit more robust, an agentic workflow that understands Pydantic AI every step of the way, and also tackles problems within Pydantic AI individually to make sure that it's not hallucinating for each part of importing the packages, defining the dependencies, creating the agent, creating the tools, all of that. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Capabilities greater than tools, completely agree. But how do you handle managing and clearing old tools when you don't use them anymore, in case you want to use it again? So, I mean, in general, I'll typically find a tool that works for me, and I'll just use it until it really doesn't make sense to use it anymore. And then at that point, I'm confident that I wouldn't want to go back to it. So I wouldn't necessarily try to overcomplicate things by finding a way to archive it but not delete it, or like maintain it in the code base still so that I could go back to it. I would make that switch when I'm so confident that I just wouldn't feel the need to. And also, when you have version history in Git, then you can always just revert by going back through commits, and so that all that stuff is still available to you. So I hope that makes sense. In general, like when I want to switch it to a different tool, like if I'm switching from Docker to Podman or from LangChain to Pydantic AI, whatever, like I'll just do a complete overhaul, refactor of the code. and I'm not going to be worrying about like maintaining it so that I can somehow switch back with one environment variable to use the old framework or whatever. Like I don't worry about that. So I hope that makes sense. Cool, can't wait. Yes, I assume you're talking about Archon, but yeah, super exciting. Learned so much about open source apps. Your videos are amazing. Thank you very much, Pranay. I appreciate it a lot. Anyone have the GitHub link to Archon? So yeah, I can actually get that for you really quick. Let me paste that. I'll copy and paste that for you. So again, video on this on Wednesday. I haven't talked about it yet. So if anything doesn't quite make sense in here, like why I'm doing things the way I am, hopefully my video on Wednesday will make this super clear. But I will paste this in here. There is the link to Archon. All right. Sweet. So yeah, I got that up here. All right. There you go. I might make a website for it at some point. I have no idea. I mean, like this is like brand new. Like my first priority is to teach Pydantic AI and LangGraph, and Archon is just kind of what I'm using for that. And we'll see where I could take this and where we could take this as a community, because I think we could do some insane things with this. So, yes, you are welcome. Hi from Kenya. Hello, greetings. All right. Yeah, it's so cool. Everyone else in here from around the world. I'm actually pretty curious, like the percentage of people from the United States like me versus like Europe or Asia or Africa or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I can look at my metrics on YouTube, but I never know, like for an actual live stream or an individual video, what it looks like. Yeah, let's see. I'll answer a couple more questions and I'll call the live stream there. So let's see. Can we use Archon to integrate with browser use? That's a good idea. I mean, right now, haven't even dreamt about that yet, but I would love to do something like that. I think that'd be super cool. I mean, browser use is a little risky overall, and I'm not super interested in something like Operator yet from OpenAI because they just like always hallucinate and do really weird things. Um, but at some point, like it's going to be a super crucial technology. So I definitely want something like browser use in Archon at some point for sure. All right, US, Pedro in the US, Texas, Argentina. All right, San Diego. Cool, cool. Anyone else in Minnesota like me? That's where I'm from, by the way, Minnesota. Great video. Thanks for explanation time. You are welcome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot. All right. Operator number one desired feature. Good to know. Good to know. All right. Wow. All over the world. Cool, cool. Nice. All right. Sweet, sweet. India as well. All right. Cool. Yeah, thanks guys for putting in your locate. Wow, all over the world. Holy cow. All right, I love it. This is so cool. Yeah, for those of you where the time zone maybe isn't the best for this live stream for whatever, like thank you for being here. And I did pick a time that I thought would be best for everyone. I think mornings my time, Central Time, works the best overall for Europe and most of Asia. I think it's a little late for those of you in China. So yeah, if it doesn't work the best, I appreciate you being here overall. But yeah, I think this time zone is definitely ideal. Minnesota is like America's Canada. Yeah, very, very true. We say oops and sorry a lot, just like you guys do in Canada, for sure. Philippines, cool, cool, welcome. Lake Tahoe, all right. Yeah, perfect time. I'm glad. Yeah, I think it really is perfect for you as well. From Slovenia, good, good. Yep. Yeah, because my first live stream ever, I did 7 o'clock Central Time, PM, 7 p.m. Because that's when I usually post my videos. But there were a ton of people from Europe that were telling me, like, I stayed up until 2 or 3 a.m. to be here with you because I appreciate your channel, but, like, you should really stream at a different time. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. So that's what I've done. 9 a.m. the last two times. Usually I'll be live streaming on 9 a.m. Saturday mornings typically. But like I said, I CrossFit competition yesterday, so I wasn't able to stream then. Otherwise, I would have. I built an agent for stock recommendations, takes current price and makes analysis using past data. That's super good. That is a really cool use case. I think AI agents to help with stock market recommendations, even things with like crypto as well, like that's just so valuable. And again, it goes back to like you don't necessarily want to trust an agent to actually purchase the stocks or trade the crypto whatever for you, but making those recommendations, saving you time doing research and whatever, like that is super valuable for sure. That's really cool. Tried the browser use feature, but felt there are some security glitches, according to my knowledge. Yeah, I think there are definitely some security glitches, really with like any kind of browser use at this point. It's a very unrefined technology, and like I don't blame these companies like OpenAI for it being unrefined. Like they're cutting edge with it. But yeah, that's why I definitely don't quite trust it yet either. But it is super super cool. Yeah, Africa, Kenya on time. Good, good. Norfolk, Virginia. All right. Built an agent that helps with DevOps work, like workflow diagramming and network architectures. That is really cool. That is impressive. I'd love to see that. France. Anthony from France. All right. Thanks for your tutorials and products. Great as open source. Yes, open source has kind of become my thing. Like honestly, at first, when I first started my channel, I wasn't like thinking that necessarily. I was just kind of building things with LangChain and LangGraph, Streamlit, things that happen to be open source. And then I forked Bolt.new, turned that into Bolt.diy like way back in October. And that just started like becoming my thing. And then I have the Live Agent Studio now. A lot of things with oTTomator that we're doing are all very open source focused. With the Live Agent Studio and Bolt.diy and working with local AI because all that is most of that at least is open source too. So yeah, it's just really become a passion of mine. So yeah, glad that you guys are all for that. Which I mean, it makes sense because it's makes what I do very accessible and free. So and that is the goal overall. So all right, yeah, I think that is a good time to call the stream here because yeah, it's been almost 2 hours already. So I hope that you guys have a phenomenal rest of your weekend and a good week ahead of you. If you are here in the States watching the Super Bowl, I hope that you have a blast with that. I'm not necessarily cheering for one of the teams, so I'm just going to have a good time watching it, but I hope that your team wins, whatever team that might be. And a lot more content coming up soon, like my video on Wednesday on Archon. I also want to update the local AI starter kit with some really cool things, like with Supabase and LangFuse, some other really neat things like that. So yeah, look forward to all that. Really exciting stuff coming up very soon here. Um, yeah, let's see what else we got here. Last comment here. Yes, Jay, you can still submit agents to Live Agent Studio. That's one really big thing that I want to get across here is that the hackathon is not the end of the Live Agent Studio. You can still submit your agents, showcase them to the world. It still is going to be a community for all of us to work on open source agents together. I'll be contributing there all of the time, especially with the stuff I'm teaching on YouTube. So yeah, a lot more coming soon. Thank you guys for being here. This was a blast. The hackathon, the oTTomator hackathon was a blast, and I'm looking forward to everything coming up as well. So take it easy, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video.